Hello there, friends. I'm glad you guys are here for the Wednesday Health Blast. Today's topic is on pain, and I know that we all resonate on some level with this topic. It can be pretty, as with any of the topics that we've shared together so far, pain is really no different in the sense that it's a big topic, but these health blasts were really just meant to give you a couple of pieces of information that were relatable and perhaps offered you an opportunity to look at the oils you already have in your home and put them to work for you, because sometimes we bring these tools into our home and we forget all of the different ways that they can be used for us. So I feel like these health blasts are very useful in that sense. You know, you've got these oils available to you, and perhaps by listening in maybe over your lunch break, or maybe you're listening to a recording of this, you remind yourself that the oils are able to do so much more than maybe what you're using them for right now, that you can put them to work in so many different ways. So as I mentioned, today's discussion is on the topic of pain. I know that for many of you, especially those of you living in Ontario, and I'm sure all over the place, I'm just most familiar with what's happening in Ontario, is there is a return to sport going on right now. And, you know, that looks different for each of the different sports. But if you're finding that you are just sort of getting back into the game, so to speak, you're becoming more physically active, you might be noticing, or you might be noticing someone in your family experiencing the discomfort that's associated with getting active again. If that's you, lean into this, because you probably have some natural resources right in your home. So, for example, you've become active again, you're starting to experience some of the discomfort that's associated with muscles and joint pain. I want to suggest to you one of the simplest things that you can pull out. And trust me when I say there's a lot of different oils that can offer you relief in this way, but I'm going to give you a few simple ones. Lemongrass, one of the least expensive oils that we have to offer, is highly effective in supporting you with discomfort related to muscles and joints. And this just isn't for people who have become active. Perhaps you've been working through these past months, and maybe your day includes a lot of sitting at a computer, and you're sitting in a specific way for an extended period of time. That discomfort is something that, you know, you can't ignore after a while. So lemongrass is also particularly effective in that situation, because it's usually the muscles in the shoulders, perhaps in the back of the neck. Simply using your lavender as a massage tool is going to offer you some relief from that pain and discomfort. So do keep that in mind, and just simply massage it into the area of discomfort. Now keep in mind, one of the safety precautions that you always want to give consideration to is that essential oils are pure and they're potent. So if you're going to choose to apply them to your skin, I'm going to recommend that you dilute it with a carrier oil. So as carrier oils go, that can be, my favorite is fractionated coconut oil. I like that one because it absorbs into the skin really quickly, and it doesn't leave that sort of greasy feeling on the skin. But if you prefer something that feels a little richer, you're going to want to look at avocado oil or jojoba oil, or take a look at what you've got and just make sure that if you're using essential oils topically, for any reason, not just pain, but for any reason, that you're giving some consideration to diluting it to limit the sensitive response that can sometimes happen, okay, when it's applied to the skin. It also increases the absorption, believe it or not, and allows for your body to absorb the benefits. So those constituents that are going to work for you, you would think would be have more direct impact on the skin without a carrier oil. That's not true. It's been shown that the carrier oil allows that essential oil time to absorb into the skin instead of doing what we call flashing off. Okay, so just keep that in mind going forward. So as it relates to pain, we mentioned that lemongrass is a highly effective tool in helping to alleviate some of that mild to moderate discomfort that can be associated with sitting too long or getting active for the first time. I also want you to think, as we're talking about pain and discomfort today, your lifelong vitality supplements. If you have got them in your home and you're not actively using them as they're instructed, a couple times a day, check the box for a refresh on that, then you might be missing out on some of those healing properties or some of those pain alleviating properties that are associated by taking your supplements. Keep in mind, the alpha CRS, for example, helps the body with its, helps regulate its inflammatory response. It's the inflammation in parts of the body that is causing you pain and discomfort. So taking your supplements not only benefits you in all of the ways that you know, but can also support you in helping support those feelings of pain and discomfort in the muscles and the joints, okay? If you've got more stubborn pain, I want you to consider this. It can be hard to get at some of those areas. And once you're experiencing pain in a certain part of your body, it almost seems all consuming, like your mind is constantly going to that pain. So it challenges your day. It certainly changes the way you operate within your day. So for those more stubborn areas of pain, I want you to give some consideration, not just to using the lemongrass as we described before, but give some consideration to getting out your bottle of Deep Blue, because you know that that one is the one that is sort of considered our go-to for relieving pain and discomfort. I want you to take that bottle out and I want you to use a drop of the oil in the affected area. Wherever you're feeling that pain and discomfort, I want you to apply a drop of your Deep Blue oil. Once you've had an opportunity to massage that into the affected area, I want you to take out your Deep Blue rub. If you don't already have this one, I would suggest that this might be a nice addition to one of your future carts, because it's great on its own, as all of the oils are, but when you pair things together, you're amplifying the effects. So consider, if it's stubborn, if it's changing the course of your day and how you operate within your day, it's definitely worth that extra step. So you've applied the oil. Now what you're going to do is apply Deep Blue rub to that affected area, right over top of where you just applied the oil. And if possible, and if you can, I'll just say it, if you can stand it, I want you to apply some heat to that area. So take a heating pad and put it on low, or one of those, those beanbag kind of things that you can put in the microwave and heat up. Apply it to that area. It is going to feel incredibly intense, almost to the point where you think you need to take it off. Your brain can't quite tell if it's too hot or if it's too cold, but that only lasts for a few minutes. And what you notice when that feeling begins to dissolve is so does a lot of that tension in that affected area. So if you're really struggling in this area, please give that some consideration and let me know what your experience is like. The word intense is probably going to become part of your vocabulary, but when pain is ruling your day, I know that you've probably reached that space where you would do anything to find some relief. So hopefully that little protocol will offer that to you. There's actually a lot of information available to you on Deep Blue. So if you are sort of more of that science mind where you really need to know how Deep Blue is working in the body, I want you to know that this has been clinically researched. And if you would like more information on what the study looked like, I'm going to provide a link to that below this video for those of you who are watching the live stream on Facebook. I'll put it in the comments. But for those of you who are watching on Zoom, just send me a quick little note and let me know that you would like to have that information provided to you. I can get it to you either by email or text or whatever works best for you. But that study was really pretty fascinating, because what it determined was in the study, just in a nutshell here, this is a real high level way of recapping the extensive work that they did on this, but the cells that were exposed to the Deep Blue were found to have a positive response in the signaling of the inflammatory response or the what is the word? I wrote it down, immunomodulation and wound healing effects. So powerful information was revealed through that study, and I'd be thrilled to be able to share that with you. So look in the comments for that. A few other oils, because I know you guys are really into your oils, and perhaps you have a handful of these on hand. I want you to know which ones you can count on to provide you some relief in whatever a way it appears in your life. So not just muscle and joint pain, but perhaps I talked with someone the other day who was experiencing the pain of headaches again, having just returned to work. That could be for a variety of reasons, absolutely. But we weren't in a place where we were going to dissect what the cause was. We just needed to find a way to relieve some of the pain. So, whether that's your pain or, we could even look at, I'm going to make a recommendation here for menstrual pain, because I know that can change the way you operate within your day as well. So lots of options here. And if you'd like to discuss any one of these oils, perhaps it's, something you have on hand and never really knew how to use in its entirety, let's have a conversation. Let's just do a quick one-on-one with one another and find out how we can put these oils to work for you specifically. So some of those oils are as follows. I won't comment on all of them. This is meant to be quick, but here's the lowdown. Eucalyptus, lavender, rosemary, peppermint. Peppermint is the one that we talked about with the example I offered with the headache, because it helps relieve the pain associated with a headache relatively quickly. I don't want to say immediately, but relatively quickly. That is definitely a go-to in terms of pain relief. The other ones that I mentioned are great for helping support the body's natural inflammatory response. And again, keep in mind, inflammation is where we experience the pain and the discomfort. It's always going to boil down to a root cause. In this situation where we're talking about pain and discomfort, I want you to always think there's got to be inflammation somewhere in the body, and what oils can I put to work for me that will help reduce that inflammation and therefore alleviate some of the symptoms that I'm experiencing. So a few more for your consideration. Roman chamomile. Clary sage is the one that I'm going to recommend for menstrual cramping. Keep in mind, not only does it have the ability to act in an anti-inflammatory kind of way, also anti-spasmodic, offers a lot of emotional benefits. So there are significant side benefits to using these oils for relieving pain and discomfort. Frankincense. Probably every health blast I ever do, you're going to hear me mention the king of oils, or what we affectionately refer to it sometimes as liquid gold, because the chemical profile of frankincense is so powerful that you could put it to work in almost any situation where you needed some relief, whether it be emotional, physical, or mental support. I want you to always think that if you have your frankincense with you, then you have an answer to whatever it is that you need to solve for, okay? Wintergreen, very powerful. And it's another one of those ones, kind of like peppermint, in the sense that when it's used and it's diluted properly and used topically, you will notice a difference, because it has a noticeable effect on the skin, but it also takes effect very, very quickly, as do most of these. Vetiver, not often one that we talk about when it relates to pain and discomfort, but I want to share with you, as my education stems from an Ayurvedic perspective, vetiver has been used for thousands of years in supporting people in relieving pain and discomfort in their body. Specifically, in some of my reference material, pain that's associated not just with activity or being stationary, but pain as it relates to rheumatism and different conditions such as that. Helichrysum. great one to have on hand. And I'm going to recommend, for those of you, I know you guys are oilers already. Helichrysum is one of those oils. It's definitely on the higher end in terms of what it costs to bring into your home. I'm going to suggest to you, just as a little tip, you're ordering your oils each month or with some level of regularity, save up those points and then redeem them on products that have a higher price point attached to them, like Helichrysum. Because once you have it in your home, you know you've got, well, that's a smaller bottle, so that one would be 80 uses. So high value in bringing that into your home. And through your loyalty rewards program, you can bring it into your home for free. So don't forget that as you're taking a look at some of the oils you don't yet have, but you're placing orders with some level of regularity, you're accumulating points. You can cash them in on some really great things to support your health and wellness. A couple more and then I'll wrap this up. Clove. Particularly great as it relates to oral care, so pain related to the mouth. I want you to keep that one in mind, and we can have a further discussion on that. And copaiba. So copaiba is, you know, usually when I'm chatting with people who are relatively new to the oils, copaiba is a newer one. It's a discovery oil, but I want you to write that one down because it has properties in it. I kind of put it in the same category with frankincense. It's superb, and you're going to find me recommend it in almost every topic that we chat about. It has analgesic properties. It supports the body's inflammatory response. It has so many mental and emotional benefits to it because don't forget, pain can be linked to a manifestation of what's happening in your emotional world. So if you need some clarity or some support in terms of your emotional or mental well-being, it could lead to pain somewhere in the body. So we need to give that considerable recognition when we're looking at ways to support you in alleviating that pain. We got to find the root cause, find the location, and work towards, you know, dissolving some of those symptoms away. So that's very important. The last thing I'm going to share with you is just an experience that I had. So I was very fortunate back in the fall to travel to Prague in the Czech Republic. And up until my trip, I had been experiencing what I would describe as significant pain in my left foot. Many of you have probably experienced it similarly. It's called plantar fasciitis, and it can be a really challenging thing to work with or work through. Now, I don't know that I would have put so much work into it, aside from the fact that I was in a place where I wanted to walk around and I wanted to sightsee, and there's a lot of hills up and down and the roads aren't nice and smooth, and it was really putting me at risk of not being able to fully enjoy my experience. So I share this with you because I had my oils with me. So I would massage the area. If you've ever had plantar before, I want you to think about like the arch of the foot and the heel is where the pain comes from. So literally with every step, it's sending like a shot of pain through your body. It's very noticeable and definitely compromises the way you function in your day. I had some oils with me, of course. I would massage those into my feet at night. Okay, when we were done our traveling for the day. But I also started taking one of the supplements that I had with me. So I take my regular complement of supplements, which we already said helps support the body's inflammatory response. So that's great, that's baseline. But I added the newer turmeric dual capsule supplements. If you've never heard of them before, it's okay. They're relatively new, but they are phenomenal. So they're called dual chamber capsules because the capsule themselves, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. I will show one to you. They're split in half. I don't know if you can really see that very well. You kind of get the idea. One side looks like it has oil in it. The other side does not look oily. That's intentional. One of them is turmeric essential oil, which you guys already know is very pure and very potent. The other side is a turmeric extract. Now, keep in mind, I mentioned this before, when you layer things, you amplify or maximize the effects. I'm going to tell you this capsule is highly, highly effective. So it has all kinds of health benefits. As you know, maybe you've studied turmeric before, maybe you use turmeric in your food choices because you already know all of its incredible benefits. It's one of the most nutritionally supportive and dense products or that you can consume. So in my case, I was using it to help regulate inflammation in the body, which is one of its many benefits or claims to fame. And I'll tell you, the very same day that I started using the turmeric capsules, I had low expectations because I just figured the pain was just something I was going to have to work through until the end of the trip. But the very same day that I took the turmeric capsules, 1 capsule 2 times a day is the protocol I used. I was able to walk with relative ease, not completely gone, but with relative ease. And my friends, let me tell you, when you are in a place as magical as Prague in the Czech Republic, and you're able to move past something that was detracting from that experience, it's a big deal and you want other people to know about it. So these capsules right now are available through our US warehouse. We're a little slower on the Canadian side of things. Health Canada has different measures and a few more testing processes that it has to go through before it reaches our Canadian warehouse. But as a Canadian, if you wanted to get your hands on turmeric capsules, you can. You just simply, when you're in your membership site, you just click on the American flag and it takes you into the US site and you can access the products that are available over in the US. You pay a US fee, or sorry, not a fee, you pay US dollars. So make it count. If you're going to buy over on that side, buy any of the things that you wouldn't normally be able to buy through the Canadian warehouse. And I can help you figure all that out. I have quite the slick little system going here in our house. But I wanted to share that with you because it was such a big deal. It was so profound to me. And nothing else changed. I was wearing shoes that weren't exactly ideal. Nothing changed about the terrain. We were up and down on rocky roads and we walked a lot. And I mean a lot. And I was able to move through that pain and discomfort in a way that allowed me to enjoy my day. And that's why these suggestions are coming at you today. I know that pain is on a very different scale for a lot of people. So by no means do I want you to look at replacing anything that you're currently doing that's working. What I want you to do, what my intention in these blasts are, is to just remember how effective the oils can be, either on their own or in conjunction with whatever plan you're currently working with, okay? They're very, very powerful, pure and potent, and I would love to hear what your personal experiences in this way would be. So keep in mind, if you're watching the Facebook live stream, I'm gonna put the link to the Deep Blue study in the comments, and then you can check things out on your own. You can always book some time with me to talk about what this looks like for you specifically. If you're watching this on Zoom, just message me and I'll make sure that you get a copy of that Deep Blue study by the way of email. Okay, so that's it for today, friends. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope to see you again on Friday for the Health Blast at noon. We picked noon because hoping to catch some of you guys on a lunch break. You know, so if you need to watch the recording at any point in time, that's always going to be available to you as well. But until we see each other again, stay happy and healthy, and thanks so much for tuning in today.